hold on. Okay, now I'm recording. Hey guys, it's me, Kalicia Simmons, Double Diamond Leader. Tonight for our global game changer call, we have an amazing leader, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself, tell us a little bit about her journey with It Works, how this business fell into her lap, and I want you, Nikki, I want you to tell us exactly where you were in your life when you stumbled across this opportunity, because I know I have shared your story 1,000 times, and some of my team, they use it still right now. The video you made years ago, like we're still using it to explain and to share with people, you know, how you can start with this business. It can completely turn your life around. So I'll let you
Yeah,
get started, and I will make sure everybody's muted while you talk.
that's so crazy. So, I know you and I were chatting right before this, like on Messenger, and we found out we were from the same town in Tennessee, which is super crazy. And we went to the rival schools, but we're pretty close in age. And so, around my time, or back in high school, things like that, my family they like made it, my dad and my mom made really good money, but they like were not good managers with money. So I was always, I was never really taught to be a good money manager. But I always wanted to have, that kind of income. So I got married really young. I got married at 19, and my husband was 24 when we got married. And I mean, gosh, we just did not know how to manage our money. And so we never had, paycheck to paycheck was typical for us. And that's all we ever knew. Well, then we started throwing kids in the mix, and it was a little bit tighter, but we always made it. We just never had anything special or extras or anything like that. And we were used to that. That was normal, which I feel like that's kind of like normal for most people nowadays, is like paycheck to paycheck. So my husband became a subcontractor. Like, he was pretty much his own boss, with a roofing company back in like 2011, 2012. And in 2011, we actually had our third baby, which we were not planning for. He was our surprise baby, and what a great surprise now, but at the time, we were freaking out because we had two kids already, and we weren't sure how we were gonna, make it. And so baby number three came along, and daycare expenses for all three of my kids during the summer was going to cost me over $900 a month before taking the diapers and the formula and all that stuff to daycare. Now, I'm from the same town Felicia is. So I'm from Murfreesboro, where things are much more expensive. That's not where I live now. I live in a little town about 2 hours east of there. And we live in probably one of the poorest towns in Tennessee. I know one of the poorest counties in Tennessee now. So our expenses were a lot less than if it was when I was in the city. So we live in a very small town, but $900 a month, that's a lot of money. And when you're only making like $1,200, after taxes a month, that's crazy. It's crazy to think that you're paying out that much for somebody to watch your kids for you while you go and work, clock in for somebody else's dream. And I hated the job that I was doing. I hated the bank that I worked for. And I just was so sick of working there. And so we decided to take the pay cut, and we decided that I was going to come home. My dream had always been to homeschool my kids. My aunt homeschooled her children. I personally hated high school, hated just going to school. I always did well, but I hated being there. Girls are mean, people are mean. But so I decided I wanted to homeschool my kids. And so this was a great opportunity for me to start doing that. And my husband was making good money. And then it was still kind of the recession era. So we were kind of coming out of it, but not really. So things were a little bit better. But because he was a subcontractor, it was all weather related. So in 2012, which was also an election year, and election years are just really hard on businesses. But in 2012, The weather was awful. Business was awful. I mean, it was just all around horrible. And here I am home homeschooling 2 of the 3 kids, and my other one's a year old. So it was just horrible. And he was gone 4 to 6 days a week. So me going and getting a job, 3rd shift, because I homeschool during the day, was impossible unless I was going to do it on the weekends. I didn't have sitters, so that was it. Like his family, all of his family worked, so we were it. So within that year of business being horrible, weather being horrible, just not bringing home the money, we ended up losing 2 cars to repossession, our only 2 cars. And then we got a letter from the same bank that I used to work for that we were about to lose our home. And it wasn't anything special. It was a double wide trailer that was a fixer-upper when we got it, but that's all that we could afford. And but it was our home, and it was, the roof over my kid's head, and it was where we lived. And so it was something that that broke me. I was already broken from being broke and having to say, okay, well, I know the electric gets cut off on the 27th and we get paid on the 29th, so I can write a bad check on the 27th and it won't go through until the 29th, hopefully. That was kind of our lifestyle, and we had food stamps and we had WIC, and I am so, so grateful for that, because otherwise we would have been in really bad shape. So, we had WIC, we had food stamps, and we had, government paid insurance. We did have that as a family. So I was very grateful for those things. It was a huge relief, but my water was still getting cut off, and our water bill where we live is like $25, $30. And it was still getting cut off because I didn't have that kind of money. I just didn't have it. So we lost 2 cars. We got a letter we were about to lose our home. And I just started praying harder than ever. I knew that was not the way that God wanted my life to be. I knew that I was called to homeschool my kids. I knew that was something that I was supposed to do. And I didn't understand why we were going through such a hard time if I was doing what I was asked to do. You know what I mean? So I just prayed and prayed and prayed. And I took my kids to church one Sunday, and Ryan wasn't in town. And so I took the kids, and if you guys have heard my story, you know that I parked on the hill at church so that the gas tank, actually I had to park this way, so that the gas tank would read the little bit of gas that was in there. You had to park downhill, and that way I could get back home, because I would budget like $2 a week to get back and forth to church, and like any other little errands I had to run on Sundays, and then pray that I make it home. So I went to church. Oh, sorry. Maybe somebody need to mute. I don't know. So I went to church, and I was talking to a group of my girlfriends that were there, and we were just chit-chatting, and the kids were eating donuts and stuff at church beforehand, drinking, milk and juice and all that, getting ready to go to their class. And that was our Sunday breakfast. That was oh my gosh, I'm so thankful, because they could eat breakfast at church, and that's one less meal I have to fix at home, so my food stamps can go a little bit further. And nobody knew how bad off we were financially. And we were just talking, and this girl came up, and she was talking about the skinny wraps, and I was like, what are you talking about? I had never heard of them before. I didn't even know what she was talking about. I thought she was totally crazy. And I was like, you guys, I didn't even know who she was. She was new to the town. And I was like, who is that? And what is she talking about? And they were telling me that they had tried these skinny wraps, and that they had all had amazing results. And I was like, they work? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, well, doesn't it just come right back? And they were like, no, we did it a while ago, and they're great, and we ordered more, and then we ordered this, and we ordered that. And I was like, oh, okay. So I did what any normal person does, and I started following her on Facebook. And so I watched her post about wraps, and I watched her post that she was going to the grocery store, and I watched all these people that I knew from this town go and pick them up from her. And she made $200 in wrap cash while she was grocery shopping. And then she had the boldness, and I'm so thankful she did. She was so bold as to put it on Facebook that she made that money. And I needed $350 to pay a partial payment on my house to keep it from going into foreclosure. and I only had a couple of weeks to do it. So I messaged her and I was like, you don't know me. We go to church together, and I heard you, I met you today, and you were talking to my girlfriends about these skinny wraps. I just watched you make $200 in the last couple hours. You need to tell me what you've done. And so she shared with me that, she uses the products and shared results, and that people wanted what she had. So I was like, okay, look, I've done 2 other network marketing companies. I failed miserably. I need you to tell me how you've made money, because I've never made money doing anything like this before, no matter how hard I tried. And she just told me, she's like, you just sell wraps. And I said, okay, so if I never get a customer and I never get a distributor, can I still make money? And she said, yeah, sell wraps, go wrap people. And I'm so thankful that she told me that, because it eased my mind to know that I could fail in 2 other things, but if I just put a wrap on somebody, I'm not going to fail here. And so I was like, okay, so I don't have the money to get started, so you need to tell me all about getting started, and is there a way for me to do it with no money out of pocket, because I need to do this like now. And she and I came up with the idea to pre-sell my kits, and I don't know if anybody had ever pre-sold their kit before I did. I don't even know if it was a thing. I don't know, but we figured out a way to pre-sell my kit. So I got off the phone with her and I started messaging. I prayed and I said, okay, Lord, I'm going to pray. I'm just asking you, if this is what I need to do, and this is the avenue that you're taking me on, I don't ask for signs or wonders or anything like that, but you have got to just show up. Somehow you have to show up and show me this is the right thing to do, because I have no money and we're about to lose everything. And I trust you, and I know that this is not the life that you created me to have. I know that, but I don't know what I'm going to do. And so I asked my family if they would buy a wrap, and I'm like, look, I want to start trying this company. Will you buy a wrap? And they said no. And so I asked a few people in Ryan's family, and they said no. And I was like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do? Because my family's not supportive. Ryan's family's not supportive. So then I started questioning, okay, is this God's way of saying, don't pursue this? And then I didn't tell Ryan that I was doing this, because Lord knows he would like flip. So at the time he would flip. Now he's like so thankful. But so I started posting on Facebook. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this post and people are gonna think that I'm nuts. And I hardly ever used my Facebook anyways. Like, this is the crazy thing, because now I use it all day long, every day. Like, it's my lifeline. But back then I hardly ever posted. Like, those on this day, and you go back and look. Like, sometimes before it works, like, I wouldn't even have posted anything for that day or for like weeks. It was crazy, because it wasn't like a lifeline back then. It wasn't like a thing that I did every day. So I made a post about my friends at church. I didn't give their names. I just said a few of my friends at church have tried this product. It's called a skinny wrap, and I really want to try it, and I'm really kind of excited about it. They've all seen results, and wouldn't you know, within 45 minutes, I had pre-sold 4 wraps. Actually, I pre-sold way more than 4. I had booked 5 parties. And I was like, they were like, well, I want to try it for free. And I was like, okay, so grab some girlfriends and let's, my girl that's signing me up is telling me that you'll grab some girlfriends, you'll get a free one if you have at least 4 people there, and they pay the $25. So I had pre-sold 5 parties the day that I got started with my business. And so that's how I got started for free. And I was like, whoa, what just happened? Because this all was like a whirlwind. So that night I was actually able to buy my kit. Actually, no, I didn't. I had the money to buy my kit. I had gone and collected everybody's money, but I couldn't buy my kit because I had to go get a prepaid card. I didn't even have a way to buy it because I didn't have a checking account. Like, we were so broke that they had closed our checking account and we couldn't even have one. So we were the people who, like, when my husband would get paid, we would go to like Walmart and cash it. Like, that's how we survived. And so I had to get a prepaid card the next morning, and then I bought my kit. And you guys, I just have to tell you that if there's a will, there's a way. And I think what a lot of people get stuck in their mind is the lies that people or the enemy or yourself has told you. that you're not capable, that you're not worthy, that you're too skinny, or you're too big, or you're too young, or you're too old, or you don't have a network, or nobody's going to support you, or why would they want to purchase from you, that kind of thing. And let me just tell you guys, if God has you in this business, and he does, because you're on this Zoom, or if you're watching this recording and you are an It Works distributor, you're not here by accident, and he has a purpose and a plan for you. And I want you guys to rise up and realize that he has something better for you than you ever could imagine. Like, I think that so many times we think of like our dreams and we're like, oh, I'd love to have this car, you know, but God's got like a Bentley for you, right? And a garage full of Bentleys. Or you're like, I think I want to have like this 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with the white picket fence and the whole 9 yards, right? And the dog in the yard. And God's like, no, I want to give you like a 250-acre farm with people to cut it for you. And I want to give you this mansion that has like 15 bedrooms. Like, that's God's size dreams, people. And that's what God has for every single one of us. But so many times we get stuck in our mind by what people have told us. Like, in high school, people used to make fun of me all the time. They'd say that I was ugly. My maiden name, they would make fun of it. They would make fun of the way that my teeth were. They would make fun of the fact that I have like no chest and no behind. And, you know, up until high school, you guys, like these are like teenagers, like people who have better things to do, but they would make fun of me. And so I wouldn't smile, like I wasn't confident. Like, I look back on my wedding pictures and I was like so sheepish, you know, because I was so afraid to take pictures because I never would. And now I've learned to embrace myself and who God's made me to be. But, you know, it's because of this company too. I feel like you can grow a boldness and a confidence here. But, you know, I just feel like people or yourself or just in general, the enemy lies to you so much and gets something in your head. So I want you guys to realize when you start talking negatively in your mind, that's not of God. So stop it and then go speak something positive over your life. So I don't even know why I got on that tangent, but maybe somebody needed to hear that. But so anyways, all right. So I booked these parties. I got these wraps sold. And my phone may like start acting up. Let me get off the internet on my computer. Okay, maybe that's gonna be better. It's raining here and we have really sucky internet. So anyways, I just got to work, you guys. I just started wrapping people and customers started coming in, and I had never signed a customer ever in any other business that I'd done. So then I started paying like the utilities, and then I started paid for the house payment with wrap cash. I saved the house. Okay. Then I got my kids a small Christmas. Then I started paying the utilities every month, and he and Ryan took care of the house payment, which was a huge burden and something we had never done. And then 6 months into the business, I was able to retire Ryan. We had caught everything up. All of our bills were caught up. We still had collections and things like that to pay off, where we were just horrible with income, with money management, but everything was caught up. And since that day, we've never been behind on a bill, you guys. I was always late on everything, and I've not been behind on a bill in over 4 years because of It Works. And so here we sit 4.5 years later, and guys, it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I will tell you, it's business. Sometimes it's ugly. It's not always pretty, but it's the most rewarding thing that I've ever done. Okay, please, what else am I supposed to talk about? What did you tell me to say?
Okay, so your story is amazing. I'm glad that, like, that's really the biggest part of what I wanted everyone to hear, because, I mean, I literally just got off with someone that was telling me they didn't think they could afford it. You know, they're living paycheck to paycheck, but we hear it all the time. Like, we literally hear it all the time. And we'll tell people, you know, oh, this business is great for you. It's going to change your life. And they're like, I don't even have the $99. Like, yeah, I'll join, but I don't even have that. So I think understanding that even and still, when there's people who we find that are potential distributors, or even ourselves, I don't have the money to start my auto shipment. Oh, there's a lot of things that people go through. You can actually make money with this business with nothing in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can really do it. And I think your story just says that. Okay, so one of the things that I definitely want you to touch on before we start asking questions is what is it that you do on a daily basis now that you have got your business up and running? What does the day look like for you? Like, are you on Facebook mostly, Instagram, social media? Are you out in the streets passing out Bliss cards? What's the main way that you run your business on a daily basis?
Okay, so in the beginning, I did a lot of parties, and I didn't have the money to buy the wraps up front, so I pre-sold every party that I did. Like I would say, okay, your party's on the 15th, so like on the 7th, I want to go ahead and collect everybody's wrap cash. I'm going to order the product, make sure that it's in, and this does one of two things. This, number one, secures that you're going to have people at that party.
Right.
If they don't come to that party, they have a wrap that is like that they have put on hold, and then you can wrap them at another time or follow up with them and they can wrap themselves, but you had a wrap customer, right? The other thing that it does is that I was able to get most of the time 100% close rate at my parties with loyal customers or distributors because they had already paid that $25 for that wrap like a week or two before they actually came to the party. So they weren't thinking, oh my gosh, I just paid $25. Now she wants me to buy these greens and these fat fighters. Like they've already paid for that wrap that they had on their tummy like weeks before. So their bank account is now open and free for the things that they want as a customer. So that was like one of my biggest things in the beginning, was a lot of in-home parties. Like if I could do 4 parties on a Saturday, I would. And I did a lot of times. Like I would do parties on nights that I knew my mother-in-law could keep my kids for a couple of hours. And then on Saturdays, when I would get home, or when Ryan would get home, he would have the kids, and he hated it at the beginning. Like at the beginning, he made this so hard on me, you guys. Like there were times where I would have to take all 3 kids with me to parties because he would be so aggravated about this business, and for no reason. Like he just didn't understand. Like you know how God like put something in your life, and you know that you know that you know that you know that
Yep.
this is what God has for you, but everybody around you is like, you're freaking crazy and you're doing it all wrong. And it's like the enemy using those people as tools, and his arsenal to like try to get you off course. He was using my husband because Ryan was like, you're always on your phone, you're always on these calls, you're always talking to people, you're always this, you're always that, you're not even making any money. And I used to like pull my calendar out and be like, look, I made all this wrap cash this month. He's like, where did it go? And I'm like, I paid the bills with it. And he was like, oh. But sometimes on Saturdays he would like leave, and then knowing I had parties, so I'd take 3 kids with me to parties. So it wasn't always pretty, but usually those were the parties that I did the best at because people were like, oh my gosh, she's a mom and she's working really hard. But a lot of times, because it was people in my town, like they knew me. So my kids would play with their kids kind of thing. But okay, so it was parties. I love still to this day doing parties. I am not I do blitz, but I blitz people through like Facebook Messenger, or I build relationships while I'm out. Like I don't leave the house saying I'm going to hand out 10 cards, because then I feel like it's a job. And I don't want it to feel like it's a job or it's not natural. Like instead, I want to strike up a conversation with somebody and be like, oh my gosh, you've been so sweet. Are you on Facebook? Like I'd love to be friends with you. And I get them, friend them right away. And then I'll give them my card too and say, well, here's my name, just so we can get to know each other a little bit better. And, this is part of my business, but I figure this is my business card and I'd love to just, pass it along to you. And that's kind of how I was, but it's very natural. Like, hey, do you have kids kind of thing, starting conversation. And now, actually the whole time really, social media has kind of been where I've done, the most growing of my business. Like 90% of my team or better does not even live near me at all. And and it's all been on social media. It's been on Facebook mostly. I'm not a very good Instagrammer. I wish I was, because there's so many people getting such great like results on Instagram. It's just, I feel like it becomes a job and a chore for me. And again, like I don't like being bound to things. So but I love Facebook because I feel like it's very relationship building. My day in my life, I still homeschool. So we're like on our 5th year, I think, homeschooling.
Wow.
So I still homeschool. So right now it's pretty crazy. Like I get up in the morning, my kids stay up a little bit late. Like I usually let them stay up till like 10 or 10:30. And then they go to bed, but I do that because then they sleep till 10 or 10:30. And then we can get our school started about 11:30 after they've got up, woke up, had their breakfast and everything, and like got all their morning like jitters out. And then we do our school, and we're usually still done by like 2 o'clock. But so I love the beauty of the freedom of homeschool. So my day, as I wake up, usually the first thing I do is check my messenger, which I shouldn't. I need to do my quiet time. But I usually check my messenger. Answer anybody back like that's on my team that needs something. And then I do my quiet time. And I do my personal development, which I think is huge, and you need to be doing it, because at the beginning of my business, I didn't do like book reading. I would just get on a lot of It Works calls, which is still personal development if you're learning and growing to be better. So I would do a lot, like I feel like that was my personal development, but now I've noticed in my business when I'm very consistent with reading the Bible and doing devotions or listening to, a preacher online or whatever, and then reading a book, an actual book, like the one that we're doing with Mary Beth Dodd right now as the Chase the Lion.
Yeah.
I'm the prequel one to that. I'm finishing it up now in a pit with a lion on a snowy day by the same guy, Mark Batterson. He's such an amazing author. That is such a good book. But I did The Circle Maker last year, or the year before last, by him, and oh my gosh, it's so good. Like that book was life changing, business changing for me. So that's when I really started realizing how important personal development was. So I do my personal development, and I have my coffee, and it's super quiet in the house, and I love it because Ryan usually sleeps late too. Or we'll have coffee together and we'll just chat and everything. Then I get started on my day. So I am messaging people. And then my kids get up, and then we do homeschool. And in between helping them, I'm still messaging with people, get lunch, things like that. So my day is very multitasking, because I always have my phone with me, always. I'm usually always available to my team, or I try to be. And my potentials, and I'm still trying to message people and things like that. School days are a little rough sometimes, just trying to get 3 humans in the same mojo that you're trying to get them in, to get their school done. And one that loves school, one that like hates school, and one that is like learning to love it. So it's just like, and he has like the attention span of a flea. So, it's just like, you're just trying so hard. And we actually are trying out a new school right now, which we were doing everything online, and I could like send them to 3 different areas of the house, but now we're doing it all in books. So it's a little bit different, a little bit more hands-on for me. So that's been an adjustment. But you guys, there is no perfect day. What I want to tell you is, if you have 5 minutes, and we all have 5 minutes because we all go to the bathroom. So if you have 5 minutes, I want you to make the most of those 5 minutes. Do not sit and scroll Facebook on the toilet, okay? Do not sit and scroll Facebook if you're sitting at the red light. Don't sit and scroll Instagram. If whatever platform it is that you work, make it an income producing activity. Because if you only had an hour and a half total throughout the day, and you had it in like 15 to 30 minute increments, set timers for yourself. I do this all the time. I will set like a 15-minute timer, and I'll say, okay, for 15 minutes, I'm going to follow up with my potentials. Okay. And I'll just send messages. I don't reply to any. I just send them. Okay. And then maybe I have another 15 minutes, and I'm like, okay, for 15 more minutes, now I am going to go like and comment on my potentials pictures and be active with them. All right. And I don't answer any messages. I don't answer my phone. I just do that. And then, so if you're doing income producing activities, something that's going to create business for you, even if you only had an hour and a half a day, you can get a lot done in that time. But you can also spend that hour and a half a day scrolling Facebook or scrolling Instagram and doing absolutely nothing, or chit-chatting with your team on Messenger back and forth. And that's a time waster. I say that's important, and you should be building relationships with your team and be really active with them, because that is super important. But at the same time, don't make your whole day where you can go to bed at 10 o'clock at night and be like, I didn't talk to a soul about my business today. I only talked to my team. And your team is going to help make you money, obviously. But if all they're doing is talking to you all day long, then they didn't work their business either.
Right.
So be very intentional, lots of power hours or power 15s or power 30s. That's what I have to do during the week. I have to, because one thing that I need to be more intentional of, because like I said, my phone is in my hand 24/7, just about, like it's right by the bed, but I have gotten really good to mute my messenger at night. I turn the notifications off until like 8 a.m. so they don't even come on until 8 a.m. And then like when I'm with my family at dinner or something, I put my phone in my purse and I don't answer any messages, which is really hard for me because I'm like one of those people where if it dings, I'm like, you know, so it's really hard for me to not, but I'm getting a lot better at it. That way I'm spending quality time with my kids. And like Pam Souter says, after 30 minutes, they're tired of you. So especially after homeschooling all day. So I will spend some, you know, quality time with them and then get back on it. Sunday, Monday calls, always. I do not miss a corporate call unless there's something crazy going on in my life and I just have to miss it, but I always catch the recording. So those are my days. Like it's very, what do you want to call it? Like crazy. It's very crazy. It's never the same ever. But it's never going to be perfect, but I don't feel like I have a perfect life at all. I don't feel like you're going to have a perfect life. You're never going to have a perfect business. You just have to make the most of the time that you have. So if you're sitting in car line picking up your kids, then make the most of it. You know, listen to the music on the radio, fine, but I would say grab an Audible book or, some kind of book that you can listen to and get your personal development in. So that's what I do.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna open up for questions. We have a few minutes. I'm gonna start. Let's see. I'll start over here. Julie, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I
Hey,
had to
Julie.
catch the Zoom.
I know.
Yeah, Nikki, you made a video. You were in a restaurant and you were explaining how to start the business and stuff. I share that with all my potentials.
Yeah, that
So,
was, yes, I was headed back to Florida, packing up my house when we were moving home. Yeah.
yeah, it's a great video. It gets everybody interested.
Yeah.
um, I guess my question is, okay, well, I've been on this team for just over a year. I've been sitting at Ruby for a year,
Okay.
and I'm boxed in for Emerald. I'm finally, my business is starting to finally take off. People have seen me do It Works for a while. All the no's are starting to say yes. I have a hard time closing the deal. So when you're talking to someone that's on the fence about joining the business, and or even trying the products, how do you talk to them? Like, what are some of the things you say to people that are skeptical?
That's a good one. All right, so let me ask you really quickly, what rank is your dream rank? Where do you see yourself? If you could pick anywhere on the chart in the next year, where do you see?
I need to be double diamond.
All right, so you, Julie, I crown you double diamond. All right. So I want you to walk through your day. And I heard that. I'm sitting at Ruby. I'm just a Ruby. No, you're not. You are a dang Ruby girl. You have at least $500 a month coming in, right? So I want you to walk through your day, talk through your day, move through your day as you are a double diamond. What would a double diamond do? How would they act? If there was a double diamond, if you could say, Julie, you're going to be double diamond by the end of the month, but you have to believe it deep down in your soul, and you have to work your business like a double diamond would work, what would you do differently? So that's a personal question to you, and you need to start moving through your day as a double diamond, all right? So would a double diamond, like, I'm thinking back to when I went to college. It was like a huge day. Oh my gosh, that was like the best day ever. I was like, oh my God, I am making more money in a month than I've like made in like 3 months time. This is crazy, or in 4 months time. And it was insane to me. So, but the question is what would a double diamond say to somebody, say to a potential about a product? Okay, so give me an example. Like what product are you, what's your biggest hang up?
I do weight loss because I've lost 60 pounds with the products. So I'm always talking about ThermoFits and Fat Fighters and wraps.
You go, girl. That was my next question is, are you using our products and what are your results? 60 pounds? That's amazing. You should be, I mean, girl, I'd be walking around with the dang cleanse bottle like all day long being like, I lost 60 pounds. I lost 60 pounds. I'm seriously, that's amazing. So like, okay, a double diamond, if you lost 60 pounds and you want to be in your double diamond, so you're double diamond Julie and you've lost 60 pounds and somebody says, Julie, I need help. I want the same results that you have. You need to speak so boldly about that and be like, okay, look, I'm going to help you. You're going to duplicate what I've done. These are the products that I have used and you're going to love them. I'm going to be with you every step of the way. So what I do is I make it all about them, because if they're coming to you and talking to you about weight loss, they want your help and it's important. And you are going to be the one to help them. So you're the professional, right? You're the expert. You've lost 60 pounds. You use our products. You've been with the company a year. You know of the integrity. You are on your way to double diamond. And you are no longer just a ruby or boxed in for emerald, right? You are doing your steps to success every month. You are leading from the front and you are making your business happen. All right, you are working every day to make sure that you're getting your steps done and enrolling. That way your team is following suit with you. So you just need to have such utter confidence. And what I do is I say, okay, great. What are your goals and what is your budget? And then, and I'm big on that. Some people don't ask budget. I do. And I do because I want to respect that budget, but I don't want to scare anybody off either. Like if they really, truly can only afford $75 a month, I don't want to give them the system. You know what I mean? And so you can say, okay, great. I've lost 60 pounds with this product. This is what I'm using. This is how long I've been taking them. I'm here every step of the way, and I want to help you also. So when they say, okay, great, and you say, what are your goals? What's your budget? And you match products to them, say, awesome. Well, let's get started. Like, seriously, they asked you about these products. You don't walk into Target and just like window shop and then like come back 2 months later. You know, you go into Target, you've gone in to buy something. You don't walk into GNC to just like look at all the different things that they have on the wall. You walk into GNC because you're there on a mission to buy something. And the same thing with you. They're going to ask you about your products because they really want them. You just have to ask them, okay, well, are you ready? They have the ability to say, no, I don't get paid till Friday. Great, I'm gonna put you on my calendar for Friday and let's catch up then. I'm super excited. Do you want me to go ahead and take your information and then contact you on Friday before I put that in? You know, I mean, so that's what I do. I make it all about them. I'm so excited you want to lose 20 pounds. I feel like you're going to love this group of products, and I'm going to be here every step of the way. So when you make it all about them and take yourself out of it, take that enrollment out of the situation, and you're going to make their life more like you're just going to make it of more value and better, and they know that you're going to hold them hand in hand, and do it. When you sign them up, do it. Be there for them and check in with them and see how they're using their products. And I always tell everybody, let me know as soon as it hits your doorstep. I want to give you the best directions. Even if you've told them 5 times, let's do it while you have them in front of you. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay, well, Diamond Julie.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
All right. Okay, so let's see who's next. Let me go back to.
Oh, and really quick, Julie, make Emerald happen this month. Go.
I'm trying. It's my goal. 1 loyal customer a day this month. I'm going.
Not trying. I expect to be Emerald by the end of the month. Expect yourself, because if you say I'm trying or I'm hoping or it's my goal, it already gives your subconscious brain a way out. So you expect to be Emerald this month, and you expect that you're going to make it happen. So, you know, that's something that you just go for it. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. Okay, so Faye, do you have any questions?
Oh, she's muted.
Okay, hold on. Let me take her off mute. Hold on, Faye. Unmute. Okay, go ahead, Faye.
Okay, the thing that I find myself getting stuck with is doing the posts. I've picked out pictures, but it's like the approach. And with my time, I work, I told you I work a lot, and I'm trying to finish off with a couple of the jobs that I've got, but it takes a lot of my time. So I thought the way I'm going to reach people mostly is be through the posts. And I kind of struggle with that. I haven't really gone into other people's posts to see what they have, but starting out, I just find myself kind of struggling with that.
So be personal. The thing is that you don't want to change who Faye is. Faye is what? Your 5 favorite things. Okay, so maybe it's family, maybe you love gardening, whatever, maybe it's race cars. I mean, whatever Faye loves, Faye still needs to be evident on your page, right? So
Okay.
for me, it's family. Like, family is one of my big things, okay? So my posts a lot of times talk about how this company has helped my family to be closer together. How I missed the first 9 years or better of mine and Ryan's marriage because he was always on the road working, because that's all that we knew. And now for the last 4.5 years, we've gotten to spend every day together as a family, and we've not had to miss each other, right? So
Right.
unless one of us is out of town or something. So the thing is that you want to still be you, and don't just throw out buy my product, join my team, here's a fat fighter, here's a thermo fit, here's a wrap, things like that. And the reason is because people outside of It Works, they don't know what this is. All they see is a black and green bottle with the words cleanse on it. They don't know what that does. They don't know what it means, especially something like this. That means nothing to them. They see a black bottle. So what I suggest you to do is, if Confianza, which y'all, if you know me and you follow me, it's my lifeline, people. I have a husband and 3 kids at home every day with me. So something along the lines of holding this up and saying, this little jewel right here keeps my anxiety and stress in check, and I'm so thankful that it's made from plants. People are going to be like, what are you doing? What is that? What is plants? Like, you don't take prescriptions for your stress and anxiety? You know what I mean? So things like that. You want to be personal.
Right.
Whatever product you're using at that time. So maybe it's greens to get you through your day. So, you're taking greens and you're busy at work. So greens are going to get you through your day. Thermofit, fat fighters, whatever,
Right,
you want
right.
to stay in the middle of that, because your friends and family and people in your circle need to see that you love what you're doing. And it's not just an advertisement. Advertisements, they're just that. I mean, I DVR things so I can flip through the commercials. So I rarely watch TV, but when I do watch something on the DVR, I flip through the commercials. I hate them. I don't want to see them, and
Right.
so
Right.
putting up commercials on your Facebook and people are scrolling, they're just going to keep scrolling. But if they see a nice short post, it doesn't always have to be a story. And if I do put a big story out there, I'll put long post alert kind of thing. But it doesn't have to be a big story. I'm so thankful, hold up your little Confianza, that I can, use plants to cut my stress and anxiety down. That's something that people feel like, what? I'm going to ask her about that. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Because I'm in the medical field, and they know that I stick with natural things and like the honesty of it being pure. So that's a big help. That's a big help.
Woo, in the medical field and all about these plants. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right,
you.
so we have time for one more question. I'm going to see if Fatima, do you have a question?
Oh,
Okay, hold on. Let me take you off mute. Unmute. Okay, there we go.
Hi, everybody. I do have a question. Most of them was already answered, but my biggest thing, the lady has said before, me being able to work, so I don't be able to post as much. But then I see a good post from somebody else, and I feel like I'm I don't know, is it backbiting because I want to use some of the wording, but I don't know if that's okay. So I always was in fear of using somebody else's words, or, I don't know. So I was just wondering, how do that goes, and how do you think people are going to take that?
Girl, we all use each other's posts. The biggest form of flattery is to, copy somebody, copy the right cat, right? So you hear that all the time, and it works. Is make sure if you're going to copy somebody, you copy the right cat. And the thing is that take somebody else's post and make it sound like you. Right. So don't just copy and paste. And copy and pasting, I dislike it greatly, because like. Okay, for example, I'll put a post up and it'll be at I would say 90% of my posts are original. Not all of them, but 90% of them are original. Mm-hmm. But I'll post up and within 5 minutes, it has been copied and pasted and reposted like 15,000 times. And then my post that was getting interaction through Facebook, it's like it stops. Like I no longer get interaction because Facebook that there's duplicates and then it like shuts them all down. It doesn't like duplicates, it likes originality. So that's the way the algorithm is working right now. So use what they've posted and just kind of twist it around to make sure that it sounds like Fatima. And so what you're gonna do is, now if you're working, okay, so if you're working, a lot of people are working, right? So those aren't prime hours. So before work, get up a few minutes extra early and, maybe you plan out a post the night before to put up in the morning. Like as soon as I get up in the morning, I always do some kind of like good morning inspirational something, usually I'll start my day that way. And then, or like I need coffee or, something that is going to like make people share it or comment or like it or laugh out loud at it, because I feel like that gets the interaction going on my page for the day. And then if you're allowed to post on your lunch break or your 15-minute breaks or whatever, then post. If you're not, then don't even go there. Like don't, okay, we can do that. I'll hurry. So don't even post if you're not allowed to at all. But if it's on your lunch break and it's your time and your company's okay with it, then post something. And then at night, when you get home, when you get off work, before you pull out of the parking lot, make a post. And then after dinner, make a post. And that way you're not spending all day on Facebook and you don't feel like you have to, but you're being original. And then you are, doing the best with your time. Like I was talking about earlier, just doing the very best with your timing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I homeschool during the day. So I'm still putting posts up like while I'm in the bathroom and the kids are like doing their thing or whatever. But it is. It's like the same thing as having a job basically. So did you say somebody said Stephanie might have a question?
Yeah, there you go, Stephanie.
Okay, I do actually have a question. It kind of goes back to what Julie was saying. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. She was talking about how she sits at the rank, and I've almost been doing this a year. August will be a year. My biggest problem, I'm getting better at closing the deal once I finally get the deal. But I run into a lot of people who, they're like, yeah, I want to do it. And then we'll start talking about prices. And I do the whole retail for the low customer price. I do it the exact way I've been trained. But then it's like, I don't know if it's just like in Niles, Michigan, everybody's just broke or what. But I get that's too much. That's a ridiculous price. And I'm like, well, for being natural and like all that stuff, it's kind of a good price. I mean, I'm not saying that I wish I could be cheaper, because I've struggled to get things. I save up for it. But I guess my question is like how to make them realize that it's not bad and that they can save up for it, because that's what I get. I have someone in my inbox actually right now that's been messaging me through the chat, and she's not so sure because she doesn't know if she can afford it, or I tell people the prices and then they just don't respond.
So are you afraid of our prices?
It it just depends, because like I want to do the system, but I know I can't afford the system right off the bat. Like mine is like, okay, I buy thermofits this month, and maybe in a couple months I can buy like defining gel and certain things like that. Like I've never bought wraps at our price. I've actually only gotten through wrap rewards.
Perfect. That's the only way I bought wraps too, is through Wrap Rewards. So let's do this, all right? So you need to believe that you're worthy of all the products in our catalog, and that if you want the system, that you can buy the system because you're worthy of that. And so you need to stop, like, you can't spend people's money for them.
Right.
Okay. And that's what happens a lot of times, is like, I know for me, like when you're, I know, I've been there, girl. I know. So like for me, okay. I wrapped one time when I got my kit, like my sponsor gave me a wrap. So I wrapped one time. I didn't wrap again for over a month because I couldn't afford them. Every wrap that I got, I was selling. Okay. And then I got my auto ship, and I didn't think I could afford it, but I sold enough wraps to pay for my auto ship, because here's the thing. My theory was, and she didn't give me an option. She said, you will find a way to run your auto ship. Okay, you have to find a way to run your auto ship. You have to. If you're in this business, you have got to run your auto ship. There's no way that you can be a product of the product if you're taking a ThermoFit every 3 months. Okay, or defining gel like in 6 months. Okay, you can't be a product of the product. You have to run your auto. You have to sell wraps. You have to be so confident. Go wrap yourself right now before you go to bed. Sleep in it. Take your before pictures. Sleep in your wrap. Take your pictures in the morning, and holy crap, y'all, these new wraps and this new packaging, oh my goodness. I have not had these good of results in 4 years, and I've wrapped consistently for 4 years, okay? So you need to put a wrap on and go to bed in it, and wake up in the morning and take your after pictures, and then get them submitted on the wrap app so that you can post them, okay? And you can say, oh my gosh, I just woke up, y'all have got to see my results. You can message people privately with your results. Just don't post them unless they're approved, okay? So just message them privately. You have got to be a product of the product. You've got to use these things. You've got to have so much confidence and so much faith in your business, because here's the thing. You just told me, like the way that you told me is like you were like backtracking all of it. That's how you're talking to potentials, okay? You're like, oh, well, greens are $55, but then they're $33, and is that okay? No, girl. If you walk into Walmart right now and they had a $10 pizza and that's the pizza you want, are you going to walk up to the register and be like, will you take $3? No, you're pay $10 for it. And so you have to have confidence in the fact that these are our products. These are the prices. I've lost you on my phone. I'm looking for you. Okay, I see your face now. These are the prices. This is what it is. And if they want to lose weight and lose results, grow their hair, have less stress, whatever, this is what they're going to pay. And so you just need to say it's $55 as a customer or as retail, or you can get it for as a customer. Which is better for you? Which is better? And they get to pick. And they're going to say 33. What's a customer? And then I say a customer is, and I said I have like a little script that I kind of send, and I'm not really big on scripts, but I do like this one because I've kept it really simple. Is a customer gets the products at my discounted pricing. And there's 2 ways to be a customer. And I'll say, 1, you can pay the $50 membership fee and order whenever you want and get the discounted price, or 2, and then I say you can order 2 additional, I'll waive the fee today if you order 2 additional months minimum. And if you don't complete that, then we just charge you that we just ask you to pay that $50 membership fee. Which is better for you? And people always say 2. Great. Awesome. All right. Would you like for me to take your information, or do you want me to walk you through that order? Okay. So you have to have that confidence. Go a business. Like if people said, okay, Stephanie, you're going to own a Wendy's. Okay. And we're going to open you a Wendy's franchise, and Wendy's prices are, 99 cents, $2.99, whatever. You couldn't go in there and be like, well, I'll take 50 cents if you want that. No, Wendy's made the prices. It Works made the prices. These are great products that work amazing for people who use them and use them consistently. So you have to just own this, okay? And no, not everybody's broke, because girl, I guarantee you know people who get their hair done, get their hair done, go out to eat. McDonald's drive-thru's always full. They're at the movies, right? Or they're out drinking on the weekends. They smoke cigarettes. If you know people who do all of those things and more, buy clothes, whatever, buy makeup, then you know people who have money. People spend money on things that are you have to build that value in your product, okay? Not everybody's broke. Like I said, I live in one of the poorest counties, if not the poorest county in Tennessee. And we have like 15 hair salons and 3 nail salons and a movie theater, and people are out to eat at the Mexican restaurant like all day long. It's always packed. McDonald's has a line around the building every day. You know, I mean, so people are spending money. Everybody I know in this town freaking smokes, you know, and it's just like, you know, it's like nothing better to do than smoke cigarettes, but they're spending $5 a day or better on cigarettes, you know, that kind of thing. So you just have to know that you have value in your products, and don't back down from that. Just have confidence, okay? So the next person that you're going to talk to, you're going to just have confidence. Say, this is the retail, this is the loyal customer, which is better? And they're going to pick. And if they don't answer you back, because some people just don't, then follow up with them and say, did you have any more questions? You know, and then move on and find somebody else. But you have to be consistent too with talking to people. Okay, so yeah, you do. Yeah, it's quality. You have to remember that you have to be consistent talking to people. If you're only talking to like 3 people a week, you can't expect to get very far here. Okay, so if you had a boutique and you only let 3 people in your doors a week, yikes, right? Or if you were only open for 3 hours a week, holy smokes, like you wouldn't make any money, right? So you have to remember that your mouth and your social media and whatever form it is, your parties, whatever form it is that you work with, that's your open sign. And if your mouth's not open talking to people every day, your Facebook's not running, your Instagram's not running, you're not doing parties or wrapping people or whatever, then your open sign is closed. And I don't know about you, but if I walk into a boutique and they have all these fancy clothes and nice things, and the girl that's running the show is like in holy sweats and flip-flops and like a tank top, I don't think I'm going to stay very long. You know what I mean? I want to go in this place and know that I can like afford her clothes and that she looks so cute that I have to have what's on her body. That's how you have to treat these products, is that people want what you have because you look good. And you're changing every day, and you are shouting from the rooftops what you have your hands on. And I know when you're broke, I know that that's a really hard thing to do, but you have got to find a way to pay for that auto ship and get those products to your house. You don't have to buy the system every month, girl. Do the greens, do the fat fighters. Those 3 products are amazing. Those are my favorites. The greens, fat fighters, and Vital. Or greens, Vital, and probiotics now. Holy crap, the probiotics are incredible. But do you have a wrap at home?
Yeah.
Go take some pictures and wrap yourself tonight.
Okay.
Everybody should be getting their own results, because when you're shouting your results from the rooftop because you're excited, holy smokes, everybody's like, wait, what? Because if you're not consistent, then your door is shut. I can't tell you the number of people on my team that they're like, somebody just asked me if I'm still doing It Works. And I'm like, well, I was wondering the same thing, because I haven't seen you. You know what I mean? Like, and I'll just tell you, like, I haven't seen you post in 3 weeks. So, you know, I'm kind of wondering the same thing. Like, I didn't post for 3 hours, and I'm like, am I still doing It Works? You know what I mean? Like, then I got busy, and I was like, holy crap, I've not posted since like 2 o'clock today, you know, and it's 9:30 at night, and I've not posted since, like, I don't even know. I have to go back and look, but it's been a while, you know? So I've just got busy today, and everybody gets busy, but you have to be super consistent and be a product of the product. Okay, so the older wraps, it depends on when you got them. Sometimes they are a little dry. I feel like these new ones, this is why we had new packaging, because the older ones, for whatever reason, were getting dried out faster. So we got new packaging now, and it is like, I don't think anybody said the bomb diggity in a long time, but it is. I mean,
so I ordered wraps since, it's almost been a year since we've had the new packaging. I never got the new packaging. I just got a pack last week. I posted it on Facebook, like, ooh, I finally got one. This lady inboxed me immediately. It was like, can you meet me at the post office? I need all 4 of those. So I sold them. So now I'm like, dang, I still want to try the new one.
Girl, I'm telling you, I know the same thing. I just keep telling people, I'm like, if you were my wrap client years ago and you've not touched a wrap since, you have got to try these. Like,
no, that's good. That's good, because it's different. It's different.
And it's not different. It's the same exact freaking thing, but I don't know. I don't know what they've done. They beefed up something and it's like, holy smokes. So everybody go get 2 customers and cash in a wrap reward, because let me just tell you, you need this 4 wraps and you need to do them like religiously and post them. Yeah. You can sell them. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even the older wraps, they do a great job too. They do. Even if they look a little dry, they still do wonderful. They really, really do. You just need to make sure they're in date. You know, that's a big thing too, is make sure that make sure that you've not held on to them for, a year and you're trying to get rid of them. So yeah, they're good. They're still good, and use them on yourself. Get some results. So, all right. Anything else, or are we good? Or do you have another question, or what?
Did anybody else have a question before we go? I don't want to exclude anybody that had a. Fatima, you got another question? Hold on, let me see.
4:30 in Italy.
It's 4:30. Hold on.
Get quick.
Okay, there we go.
Sorry, I'm gonna make it real quick. Now, I just started maybe a couple weeks ago. Yeah, about 3 weeks ago, and I always had trouble with bloating. So I've been trying to use stuff. I did lose about 6 pounds, which I'm happy about. I'm just wondering, what can I do to tame that bloating a little bit? Because sometimes it comes back.
Bloaters are happy that you bloated. Okay, bloating is a good thing. All right. So do you drink or eat a lot of like fake sugar stuff?
Not no more. I do some lemon water because at first I didn't have it to get the cleanser. So when I did use the cleanser, it did help. So I'm not gonna lie about that. It did help. But I still see, like, after I wrap, that's what makes me nervous, that a little bit of the bloating come back. So then it make me like, I didn't do a nice picture, and then tomorrow it might look a little funny.
So don't take your picture in 24 hours. Take it in 72 and get that water down. Okay. So here's the thing. Bloaters are gloaters. We celebrate people who bloat when they wrap. Okay, so let me say, we are not allowed to talk about inch loss. We are not allowed to talk about detoxing, but it's inevitable. That's what's going on there. Okay, so what's actually technically happening is that you're detoxing faster than your body processing it, which is a great thing. Okay, we just can't say that because of the way the government is. Like, we just can't. We're not allowed to talk about detox anymore. That's like a medical term, all right? So get your water in. Push that water. So anybody that blows, I'm like, okay, if you have to drink 6 bottles of water a day, you need to be drinking 7 bottles of water a day, okay? And get some extra water, and don't drown yourself, but, consistent with water and getting it down. And then you may not see good results in 45 minutes or 24 hours or even 48, but usually by that 72 mark, it's like, hey, all right. So if you feel like you're bloating, don't take your pictures right away. Take your before and take your final 72. Also, one thing I'll tell you too is, if you have a belly that kind of like hangs out or over, put your wrap really low so that it almost folds under your tummy, and then it may appear that you're bloating, but what's actually happening is that tummy is lifting up before it comes in. Okay, so
that could get it.
Yeah, watch your pictures very closely. Do a front shot and a side shot in very good lighting, and watch those pictures very closely. Try to wear the same thing every time if you need to see, and like, so that your pants aren't like up over your tummy and then under your tummy. Sure that everything's showing, and that you have on like gray yoga pants. Wear the gray yoga pants in the before and the after, and have them in the same place on your on your butt and everything else, and pull your shirt up the same length. And the other thing to watch too is, everybody has that like back line right here. Make sure you're taking your pictures that you're showing that back line, because you're going to watch that get smaller. And as your tummy's lifting, it's going to get shorter. Okay. So I always look at people's back line, and I look at their belly button, and it always tells the truth. It always shows the difference. So you may look like you're bloating, but actually what's probably happening is your tummy's lifting and it's trying to pull in. So just be very conscious of that, but make sure you're pushing that water. That's super, super, super important.
Yeah, that's a lot of it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Okay, so Nikki, we really appreciate you joining us. Like, this has been really, really awesome. Of course, everybody has been following you for a while. All of the old distributors and all the new team members, we all have been following you for a while. So we really appreciate hearing and being able to have like a one-on-one kind of thing with you. I guess what else was I going to say? So I want everyone who hasn't been able to follow her on Facebook to kind of go watch her page. I do, Nikki, I want you to, can you message me the 2 books that you recommended for personal development? Like,
Yes.
send it to me in a message so I can write it down and share it in our team page so they
Okay.
can see those 2 books. And then I will talk to everybody later today. It's 5 a.m. So I'm getting ready to go take a nap and start my day all over again.
The book that It Works is doing together, follow Mary Beth Dodd. It's MARIBETHDODD. She is one of the regional directors under Cami now. She was a distributor for a long time, and since Cami moved into her new position, she is our regional director. And we're doing, I think it's called Chase the Lion, and chapters 1 through 3 need to be done, I think, by the 8th, and then she's going to have a Zoom about it, and we're doing like the book together. So I've got to hurry up and get the other one done. But Chase the Lion is the next one, the one that It Works is doing. I'm super excited about it. I'm hearing amazing things. Audible, if you open an Audible account, I think you get a free book or something like that. So if anybody needs a free book, just even if you have to use a different email, I think you get a free book on Audible when you first get started. Otherwise, I'm sure you can find it really cheap, and maybe even your library has it that you can like check out. So, all right, you guys, well, have a great night. Thank you so much for asking me to be on.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
It was so fun getting to know you too, and like I was like, oh my gosh, such a small world. Like hung out with the same people and everything, didn't even know it.
All right, I'll see you guys later today.
All right, bye.
Good night.